No man steps into the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and it's not the same man. I try to live my day in a way as if between yesterday and today, I have died. The Shvetank who was alive yesterday is not the same Shvetank today. As soon as I hit my head on the pillow, I cover myself with a blanket, and the next moment I feel as if I'm dead. I'm dead. As if the soul has left the body. As if I don't exist now.
I'm a peaceful soul.
I have been practicing Raj Yoga meditation taught by the Brahma Kumaris for the past 24 years. And I remember before that, I too would sometimes get stressed and wouldn't be able to sleep. Many times I would have thoughts of the past, many times the past haunts us as a problem, and then we project the past into the future, so we keep on thinking about the future. What will I do after I've graduated, or even during my exams, will I be able to perform, so on and so forth. So I have experienced to some extent, like everybody else, insomnia or sleep deprivation, if you will. But ever since this practice, there have been so many changes in my life. And one of the things that I learned very early on when I started the practice was this phrase that comes over and over again in Raj Yoga meditation. That is, we have to learn the art of becoming conquerors of sleep. Now, earlier I didn't understand that, but it's deep stuff here. You see, conqueror of sleep doesn't mean that you never sleep, that you stop sleeping at all. And by the way, actually, when you are practicing meditation, your need for sleep does decrease. If again going back to those ancient yogis, let's say we have a chance to do some time travel, and let's say we go back maybe 400 500 years into one of those gurukuls back in India, and let's say you knock on the door, you want to meet the Guruji, then the disciple comes out. The disciple will never say that the Guruji or the saint is sleeping. Do you know what word he will use rather? Resting, exactly. So the way it has been kind of depicted in scriptures as well, that true yogis never sleep, they rest. You see, so there's a difference between sleep and rest. That too we have to understand. Well, you see, many times you may have slept a full 8-hour sleep, through the night, but yet you don't feel rested. So if you can somehow, which in science we think that there's no way to stretch it, but actually through meditation, you can create non-REM sleep for yourself more and more when you go to sleep. But in fact, I'll come to that in a moment, that actually, and remind me if I forget, that actually you can create that non-REM state even when you're awake through meditation. So you see, your need for sleep will reduce, because here too, again, think of it, there are two aspects to sleep. One is the quantity of sleep, and then the other is quality of sleep. So going back to what I was saying, you could sleep for 8 hours and yet not feel rested because the quality of sleep was not good. On the other hand, you could sleep for 2 hours, and if the quality was amazing, you did hit that non-REM sleep quite a bit, and then your quality will be great. You might feel very rested after that 2 hours sleep. And for me, you won't believe it. I know some people will think I'm just bragging for no reason, but I many times just take naps for 6 minutes, 7 minutes. And those 6 minutes, 7 minutes help me for hours. I feel totally rejuvenated. I feel totally refreshed, as if I can take on the whole world after that just 6 or 7 minutes of sleep. And I feel that I've been able to experience that non-REM sleep. I know scientifically people will think, how's that possible? I know that what we do in science is we put EEG electrodes on the head. So EEG is just like EKG for the heart. It shows us the electrical activity of the heart. Similarly, there's electrical activity in the brain, and that we can know by this EEG machine. And so there are different waves actually. There is an awake state where we have beta waves. So right now we would be having beta waves. which are high frequency, low amplitude. And as we go to sleep, as we transition to sleep, the frequency decreases, the amplitude increases. So we go from beta to alpha to theta to delta. So non-REM sleep is delta waves. Now, if and that to that particular phase is really delta waves, and we have seen that yogis can create delta waves even when they're awake, even when they're talking to people. So it is possible. So you understand that when, let's say, I'm awake, and if through the practice I can truly create delta waves as if I am in non-REM sleep, but I'm awake. So I'm functioning, I'm talking to people, I'm doing what needs to be done. And if I can create delta waves, then my sleep, the need for sleep, will be taken care of. So your need for sleep will be reduced. So as if you have taken a nap, a good nap. So you won't really need that much of sleep. Many people tell me, no, I have to have 8 hours of sleep. I have to have 10 hours of sleep, and I don't feel fresh if I don't. But you see, here there is another thing to understand, very deep stuff, is that how you live your day when you're awake determine how you're going to experience your sleep during nighttime. You see, like I like to say many times, I've said this in other forums, the way you live or your quality of life determines the quality of your death. Yeah. Similarly, the quality of your wakeful state determines the quality of your night sleep. So let's say I have had a lot of unnecessary wasteful thoughts, for example. By the way, somebody came up with this number, some research, something like 35, 40, 45,000 thoughts a day. I don't know how it was calculated, but there are quite a few. If you are aware of the number of thoughts that go on in your mind, there are conscious thoughts, and then there's subconscious thoughts, and then unconscious thoughts, because everything is thoughts, really. You see, every action is preceded by a thought. And so all of these thoughts, if there are unnecessary thoughts, if they're wasteful thoughts, if they're negative thoughts, then what's going to happen is my energy is going to get drained. So to rejuvenate myself, to heal myself, I'll need a longer duration of sleep. On the other hand, if I am creating positive thoughts, I'm wishing well for everyone, I'm thinking well about others, I'm not getting engaged in thinking of the past. All of these yogis, always have talked about, and that's what Raj Yoga also teaches, to live in the present moment. Present moment is a small sliver of time. If you can stay in that, not going to the past, not going to the future, forget about the immediate past. So many times we keep ruminating about things that happened 20, 30 years back. Recently someone was telling, I can't forgive my mother-in-law. She said something 20 years back. 20 years back, I don't even remember what happened. I don't even remember what happened yesterday. I try to live my day in a way as if between yesterday and today, I have died. So the Shvetank who was alive yesterday is not the same Shvetank today. In any case, probably you have heard, there's this very nice quotation by the Greek philosopher Heraclitus, who said, no man steps into the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and it's not the same man. See, so think of it for a moment. What I was yesterday is so different from what I am today because of all the new experiences I have accumulated over the course of time, over the course of one day. You see, so what I try to do, which I've learned through the practice of Raj Yoga, is as if I'm dead from the past. The Shvetank of yesterday is dead. A new Shvetank was born today in the morning. And that's exactly what I do in that power nap that I was talking about. People say it takes them a long time to go to sleep. What I do is, as soon as I hit my head on the pillow, I'm lying down, I cover myself with a blanket, and the next moment I feel as if I'm dead. I'm dead, as if the soul has left the body, as if I don't exist now. So if I don't exist, then the past doesn't exist, the future doesn't exist. So that experience of eternality, that experience of immortality does wonders at that moment. I become totally thoughtless, and then I'm able to drift into sleep within seconds. Sometimes I can assure you maximum 30 seconds to go off to sleep, and then 6 minutes of good sleep, wake up, and then conquer the world. See, I was talking about thoughts. We have to create good quality thoughts. We have to, not go into past, not go into the future. We talked about that. But somewhere we have to translate good quality thoughts into good quality actions. So this is where we are entering into the law of karma. You see, if I am a good person through the day, then I will experience the joy, the happiness, the pleasure of having a good night's sleep, if that makes sense. You see, when we are asleep, it is as if the soul gets detached from the body. Not leaves the body, but gets detached from the body. So in a way, the soul is not doing actions through the sleep. So it is only during the wakeful state that the soul can accumulate good actions for itself, an account of good actions, if that makes sense. So if during the day, if I am engaged in negative actions, in general, we have become very selfish and self-centered. We don't care about others. But if we continue to do that, it's as if the soul accumulates negative karma for itself. And so negative karma is going to lead to suffering. That's the law, an immutable law. On the other hand, positive karma, helping others, being kind to others, being compassionate to others, doing everything we can to bring happiness in other people's lives, rather than just thinking about me, mine. Where's my cereal? Where's my piece of cake? Do I have enough clothes? Do I have enough shoes? Do I need to go and buy more? This hedonistic lifestyle that I was talking about, it's just me, me, me. And it's so interesting. That's what they talk about, the current generation me. It's just about me. So if I'm thinking just about myself, if we are thinking as a society just about ourselves, not willing to go the extra mile to help others, to serve others, to be kind to others, then how are we accumulating positive karma, if you will, for ourselves? And so positive karma will give us, again, going back to that positive karma will give us the joy of a good night's sleep. That is, we have done good. You see, again, even that is one thing. Also, simple things. If you have wasted the whole day, I personally now don't waste any day. But if any day I have not had that experience of serving others, let's say I didn't get an opportunity to serve others, at the end of the day, while I'm going to sleep, sometimes I feel guilty that I wish I could have done a little more. I wish I could have gone the extra mile to serve someone. So if you haven't been productive enough, and I'm not just saying productive from the point of view of earning more money or running 10 more miles. People are nowadays going crazy after marathons or sports or whatever it is. But doing something more or something bigger than yourself for the larger good of mankind, then you see, you do that, you experience it yourself. You have to experiment. So experimentation will give you the right experience. See, so you experiment with this from now onwards, see if you can spend some time for the larger good of mankind, and then see what a good night's sleep you will have, I assure you.
Thank you so much for waking us up from our deep sleep. And hopefully after using this knowledge, we can really go into deep sleep.
Exactly. Very well said. Very well said. Yes. We were in the slumber of ignorance. We are actually. If we come out of that slumber, we get awakened. The state of awakened consciousness will help us have the best night's sleep. All this insomnia will go away. All the need for sleep doctors will go away. This need for all these sleep medicines will go away, which are so addicting, which are so harmful to the body, and you will be productive. All these car crashes that happen, all these big accidents that happen, all of those will go away. All those lawyers will not be needed. All those insurance companies and their high premiums will not be needed. We as a society will truly grow.
Om Shanti